20 years later, I find computer security, frankly, to be kind of boring. It's tedious. Nor am I going to talk about what I think are obvious statements from my first book, Silicon Snake Oil, or second book, and nor am I going to talk about why I believe computers don't belong in schools. I feel that there's a massive and bizarre idea going around that we have to bring more computers into schools. But I think the argument is so obvious to anyone who's hung around a fourth grade classroom that it doesn't need much talking about. No! Don't ask somebody who's writing code. No, if you want to know what society is going to be like in 20 years, ask a kindergarten teacher. They know. In fact, don't just ask any kindergarten teacher, ask an experienced one. They're the ones who know what society is going to be like in another generation. I don't. What I ask myself is, what's society going to be like when the kids today are phenomenally good at text messaging and spend a huge amount of on-screen time, but have never gone bowling together. The change is happening, and the change that's happening is not one that's in software, but had collected photographs of me, as some others will do. Could somebody put this guy on? And I looked over her album, and she had collected a picture of me sitting in 1969, and I said to myself, oh yeah. And it sent me back. Soon after that, I found in another picture that she had, a picture of me. This guy over here, of course, is me. This man is Robert Moog, the inventor of the Moog synthesizer, who passed away this past August. Robert Moog was a generous, kind person, extraordinarily competent engineer, a musician who took time from his life to teach me. You know, a sophomore, a freshman at SUNY Buffalo. He'd come up from Trumansburg to teach me about, not just about, you wrote a letter of recommendation for me to get into graduate school. In the background, my bicycle. I realized that this picture was taken at a friend's living room. Bob Moog came by and brought a whole pile of equipment to show Greg Flint and I things about this. We sat around talking about Fourier transforms, Bessel functions, modulation transfer functions, stuff like this. Bob's passing this past summer has been a loss to all of us. Anyone who's a musician has been profoundly influenced by Robert Moog. And I'll just say, what I'm about to do, I hope you can recognize that there's a distorted sine wave, almost a triangular wave, up on this Hewlett-Packard oscilloscope. I was talking about this stuff to some school teachers about a year ago, and several of them would come up to me and says, well, how come you ain't teaching? So I strongly suggest that this is a good thing for each of you to do. Not just show up to class every now and then. Teach a solid week. One of the things I've done for my science students is to tell them, look, I'm going to teach you college-level physics. No calculus. I'll cut out that. You won't need to know trig, but you will need to know 8th grade algebra, and we're going to do serious experiments. None of this open to chapter 7 and do all the odd problem sets. One of the things that we did about 3 weeks ago in my class was, how many 8th graders do you know of that have measured the speed of light? In addition to that, we've measured the speed of sound. All of you know the wave equation is the frequency times the wavelength, right? This is simple physics. All of you know this from 8th grade, remember? All I need now is to flip on another beam and the bottom of the wave coming out this way. Those of you who are physicists, 20 centimeters? Okay. Let's go back to 1.76 kilohertz, or 1760. The wavelength was 0.2 meters, all of which comes to what I wanted to say. It was 1971. The Vietnam War was going on. I'm asking myself, why am I here? So at this time, I'd like to tell you the words inscribed upon the Hayes Hall Tower bells. All truth is one. In this light, may science and religion endeavor here for the steady evolution of mankind, from darkness to light, from narrowness to broad-mindedness, from prejudice to tolerance. It is the voice of life which calls us to come and learn. Thank you very much.